Today, I want to talk about what I think is going to be your biggest enemy, really the biggest enemy for any new day trader. There's a lot of enemies when it comes down to the stock market and things you got to work on, but this thing will get you killed, not only in day trading, but also in real life. And I want to talk about this idea, also something that I've been working on, something that I've been very focused on lately, and you might be able to see it from my videos, from my actual trading, why I'm buying when I'm buying, stuff like that. I've seen people leave comments talking about how I've improved this. The work that I've put in might be paying off. Day trading emotions and how you really need to fight hesitation. Hesitation and day trading do not go together. I'm gonna break down the battle between hesitation and waiting and having patience and all of that in this video, so make sure you stay tuned. Day trading hesitation. I talk a lot about the technical idea of day trading, support, resistance, and all of that fun stuff. But really, at the end of the day, you got to be able to pull the trigger, pew pew. You got to be able to pull the trigger to shoot bullets, or at least that's the idea behind a gun. But really, when it comes down to it, if you want to make a trade, you got to be able to get into the trade at the right time and get out of the trade. And the actual process of getting into the trade, getting out of the trade, is always going to be the battle that every single day trader has to go through. But really, you have to focus on being able to identify the opportunity and then also being able to take that opportunity, which was actually one of my big problems in the past. What I was doing was I was identifying an entry, and then that entry would get there. I'm gonna cut to an animation just to give you a better idea. Good scenario here. I look at a stock and I tell myself I wanna buy at $2.50. The stock is currently at $2.70. The stock starts to pull back. It goes to $2.50. I hesitate and I don't pull the trigger, and now the stock is at $2.60. And before you know it, the stock is now back at $2.70. And what do? Now that I have confirmation, I already had the plan, I already had the idea in my brain, but I wasn't able to pull the trigger because I hesitated and I missed out on the dip buy. But now the problem is I'm going to chase it. After the confirmation, my brain is then telling me, oh, now it's safe to enter. And what am I doing? I'm chasing the stock. So instead of getting in at $2.50, I'm now buying the stock 15, 20 cents higher than my original entry, which now changes the game. My original entry was $2.50. My original profit target was $2.70. Now I'm buying close to $2.70, which was that previous resistance. And what happens? I get dumped on and the stock pulls back to $2.50. I get out for a loss. And guess what? Once again, the stock bounces off that $2.50 support and goes back towards $2.70. Over time, you're going to gain experience. You're going to learn how these stocks move up, down, and how they move in waves. You're going to see the opportunities before they happen. But the problem is you're not going to be able to execute. You're going to hesitate, and you're going to need that confirmation before you're able to jump into the trade. And what you're doing is you're basically invalidating that original entry by telling yourself to wait for that bounce, which you've already told yourself it was gonna happen. Now, obviously, it's not always as easy as just telling yourself, I'm gonna buy here, and you're gonna wait for that entry, and then you're gonna take it. At the end of the day, it comes down to just really being able to read level 2, read time and sales, read the overall chart, and in time, you're going to build that experience. But the worst thing that you can do is start to see opportunities, see setups, and not take them. And then once those setups are no longer valid, you're chasing the stock because you're telling yourself, oh, yeah, it bounced off my original entry, it's going higher. But what are you doing? You're buying at a higher price, and now you're really changing the whole entire trade. So instead of buying at $2.50 with your stop at $2.40, now you're buying at $2.70 with your stop at $2.40, and the risk is much higher. So it's really important to not only focus on how to read a chart, but it's also really important to build that confidence. Build confidence in yourself over time with that experience. One of the things that you can do is just sit there in front of the screen, find stocks, find setups, and tell yourself, okay, this is how it's gonna move. Draw lines on the chart, figure out a setup. So if the stock is at $5 and you're telling yourself, I want to wait till 480 to buy, and start to just see the setups before they happen. And the more and more that you see them, the more and more confidence you can build in your skill, in your experience, the better the trader you're going to be. Because at the end of the day, if you're not able to capitalize on setups and you don't have the confidence to buy at the target, and you need that confirmation, like I said, you're adding on a lot more risk than you really need. The big thing with buying, it's always going to be difficult to buy right at the bottom, and it's always going to be really difficult to sell right at the top. At the end of the day, you have to believe in your edge. You have to believe that you're able to find opportunities and you're able to execute the plan. Buying the dip at 250, getting in there, even if the stock pulls down a little bit more, you can see what's going on. You can see level 2, you can see time and sales, you can see the overall chart. And over time, you're going to see this more and more. A lot of people will say, you know, I risk a lot to only gain 10 cents. But the thing for me is, if I'm buying the dip, if I'm buying there at 250, I'm not planning on the stock only giving me 10 cents. I obviously would like to go a lot higher, but at the same time, if I enter a trade, I also need to be able to take profit with no hesitation again. I'm watching level 2, I'm watching the time and sales, I'm watching for that stock to slow down at my target area to buy, and then when I get into the trade, if the stock starts to move higher, but then starts to slow down to the upside, and then I need to tell myself, hey, I'm taking profit here. I'm not waiting for this to pull back down there and drop on me. That's not to say the stock can't go higher later. That's not to say the stock can't just go straight to the moon. But at the end of the day, hesitation is going to kill you. Hesitation in life, hesitation day trading. If you hesitate to ask your dream girl on a date, there's a good chance that some other guy is going to ask her. Even if you put in all the work, you spend all the time, you have the plan, if you can't ask your dream girl on a date, she's never going to say yes. And that's really the big issue here, is hesitation. Hesitation in life, hesitation in day trading, hesitation just in general, hesitation across the board, hesitation. I feel like this video now is just a video about hesitation in general, but really when it comes down to it, that's one of the big things that I've been battling over the last couple months with myself, is I was able to find the opportunities, I was able to find the entries, I was able to find the trades, but I hesitated, and then I would wait for that confirmation. And at the same time, I was basically hurting myself because I was adding the risk on. So instead of buying at my original 250 or waiting for that pullback, I would chase it, or I would buy higher than my target, and then I'd end up getting dumped on. And the stock would do exactly like I had already planned, like I had talked about in the video. Like the video today, I talked about my entry 20 minutes before it came. And when the stock pulled back to my entry, when the setup appeared, I had to take the trade, and I didn't even think about it. I didn't think that the stock could go lower. All I could think about was, hey, the setup is there, I'm taking the trade. If it doesn't work out, I'm gonna cut it off and I'm gonna get out. And that's really what it comes down to, being able to have no hesitation. Obviously, you wanna make sure that everything is lining up, that the support is there, the bounce, the target, all that stuff. You know, you got to make sure that's all, but really the worst thing you can do is wait for that bounce, wait for that confirmation, and then end up jumping in 10, 20 cents higher, and then the stock pulls back, you get out, and the stock then goes exactly like you had planned. The more time you can spend just in front of the computer screen, looking at charts, looking how stocks move, and being able to identify entries and building that self-confidence, it's gonna make you a better day trader. A lot of people ask me, how do they overcome the fear of actually pulling the trigger, of actually getting into the trade? And that really just comes with time. It comes with experience. And like I said, just sit there and tell yourself, okay, this stock is gonna do this, it's gonna go there, and it's gonna go there. And start to do this over and over. Just spend time, not even placing trades, but just sitting there on the computer, watching these stocks, the setups that you normally trade. Just spend a couple hours a day just looking at the chart and planning out a trade and building that confidence to the point where you're like, wow, I was right on point when it came down to it. I was able to identify exactly how this stock moved before the move. And with time, you're going to be able to build that confidence in yourself. And that's really what I needed to do. Building that self-confidence to the point that I'm able to not hesitate. I'm able to get in, I'm able to get out, and take profit and walk away. And that's really what it comes down to. When you're day trading, you're not going to be able to buy the exact bottom. But when the setup appears, when you tell yourself, hey, this is where I'm buying at, this is my plan, this is my overall trade. When the setup appears, when all the boxes are checked, when everything is aligning for your setup, you have to take a trade, and you have to be able to build that confidence. Build your confidence to the point that you're able to take a trade with no emotion, with no hesitation, in, out, in, out, in, out, and do it over and over and over, where you buy and you sell and you don't think twice. No hesitation. No hesitation in life, no hesitation in day trading. Self-confidence in your skill, in your experience, in the work that you put in. Having that confidence is going to be one of the most important things that you can do for your day trading, for life in general, but really for day trading. You have to have confidence in the setup. When you have your target in sight, you have to be able to pull the trigger. Hesitation, it will destroy your day trading account. It's not because you don't know how to trade. It's not because you don't know where to buy. It's because you're hesitating and you're not taking the trades that you're able to identify. So find stocks that you're able to read, identify the setups, and then take them. Even with small size, just small size, over and over and over, to the point you're like, wow, and that was my big issue. I just wasn't able to pull the trigger, and then I would get that confirmation and I would chase the stock. There it is, hesitation. Are you hesitating? Think about it. When you see a setup, are you able to pull the trigger? Do you wait? Do you then chase the stock? Do you get it at a higher price and then you sell for a small loss and then the stock does exactly what you thought it would do? I see this a lot. I used to do it a lot, where I would basically buy a stock chasing it and then I would sell for a loss and the stock would go exactly to where I had planned already. But because of my entry, because of my hesitation, I wasn't able to really take the real trade that was there. I was kind of just buying in the middle and I was in and out and it just didn't work out. Really focus on your execution, focus on hesitation, remove hesitation. If you see the setup, take it. Take it, take it, take it, take it. If you guys haven't already, do me one big favor. I'm not sure why you're hesitating. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, it's over there somewhere. Hit the subscribe button, leave a comment below. Have you had problems with hesitation in the past? I'm sure you have. I've had a lot of problems with hesitation myself, and that's one of the big things that I'm working on right now. I'll talk to you guys later on.